This afternoon to demonstrate that we are not only opposed, but we are sick and tired of what's going on in this country. You know, there's an expression out there that's being used. I'm only going to use just the first word of that expression because I don't want to repeat it. But what we're going to do today is we're starting to make America free again. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. We're going to make America free. So today, we're here because in this country, we're seeing fascism that we see an authoritarian person that's trying to take us somewhere that this country's never been. This country's never had a king. We are a country of no kings. So what we're going to do is we're going to celebrate today making America free, not just for some people, but for all people. So we're down here this afternoon. We're going to get started. We're going to start with our first speaker. Our first speaker today is Sheila Coleman Castells, an internationally respected advocate, strategist, educator with more than 3 decades of leadership in civil rights, public policy, and community transformation. Sheila has directed and advised nonprofits, managed major federal and state initiatives, helped secure over $70 million in public and private funding in service of equity, access, and opportunity. She has spent her career working at the intersection of education, housing, workforce development, and human rights. Known for her clarity, courage, deep faith, and unwavering commitment to justice, Sheila brings both lived experience and deep policy expertise to work of building systems that serve all people, especially those who often are excluded from opportunity. So please join me in welcoming Sheila Coleman Castells.
Can you hear me? I said, can you hear me? That's more like it. It's cold out here, but our hearts are warm, and we're going to get fired up today. Now, good afternoon, my cold brothers and sisters. While I am not somebody's mama, because my children just got married in May, and whenever I say grandchildren, they go holy water on me, and they don't want that. I'm the right age, and I've got the hair, so I'm going with the vibe today. I'm going to be your mama, and mamas don't sugarcoat. Mamas tell the truth in love, whether you want to hear it or not. And mamas are here to preserve the next generation. That's our entire job. And when those generations stumble and when they fail, we will let you know. And we will do whatever we can until our dying breath to heal the breach. So I'm here today as a mama, and I'm not ashamed of anything I've got to say, because some of my fellow mamas and papas and their sons, daughters, and their grandchildren too, have screwed up this country by voting with hatred, with bigotry, with sexism, with racism, with cruelty toward people who dare to speak, and with fear of people whose only crime is loving who they love and living honestly in their
Outside
own
cafes,
faith.
it doesn't say AIDS.
All of it fueled by the lie that some no-talent, broke-ass, bad-spray tangerine tyrant playing like a businessman from New York was ever going to give you a goddamn thing. Come on now. Our ancestors fought real Nazis. And some of these idiots in this state are simping for fascists and cosplaying as Nazis. There are West Virginians, men and women, asleep in the cemeteries of Arlington, of Normandy, and over in Taylor County, who might beg to differ. They fought and died so the swastika would never reach our shore. Much less be tattoos on some simpletons who can't get a date. And so now billionaires give the Z-Kyle on national television and dumbasses fall for that. Our ancestors should jump up from their graves and beat the hell out of them. The truth is this, though. We have enslaved ourselves with bigotry, with misogyny, with indifference to suffering, with silence when women are threatened, when LGBTQ kids commit suicide because they're taunted to death, when the good people who came here for freedom are threatened and deported without due process, when black and brown bodies are treated as disposable. Our people voted for this in this state. So here we are. What did Brother Marley say? Sing it if you want to. Emancipate yourself from mental slavery. None but ourselves can free our minds. We have to free the American mind from the lie that somebody's got to work like a slave for us to be strong. That somebody must be controlled for us to feel safe. That women must be silent or queer people must disappear for America to survive. That's a lie. ICE does not exist for justice. ICE exists to make you afraid, to intimidate you and me. These are the 21st century brown shirts. Men who crave power without responsibility, authority without accountability, and violence without consequence. And it's working. They're shooting people left and right. They threaten women. And my thing is frozen. Come on there we go. They threaten women, they terrorize LGBTQ communities, they brutalize immigrants, and they silence dissent. Is this justice? No. Is this democracy? No. Is it freedom? No. I don't smell a whiff of any of those except free and dumb. So it's time for some hard conversations with your relatives and friends. Because when it was illegal, when it was black and brown people, when it was trans kids, when it was women demanding bodily autonomy, all this garbage was okay, wasn't it? Oh, yeah. But now they're shooting white women, mothers, in the face. Are the GOP voters in your home okay for that? We have to make evil sinful again. It's hard, especially when you love your people, but you can't back down. Fascism is evil. Racism is evil. Sexism is evil. And if evil leads to the devaluing of people's lives, your people came here to breathe free. For liberty of thought and faith and belief. So my people were dragged here under duress. So we don't have much patience in this anymore. We're out here in the cold because we want change. But we won't get it by being stupid and allowing evil to slip by. Television isn't our friend. It lies and manufactures fear. fear, and it teaches us to hate our neighbor. Immigrants aren't our enemies, and women aren't our enemies. Trans people are not our enemies, and black and brown people are not our enemies. But you want to be mad at some immigrants? I got two for you. Elon Musk and Peter Thiel. They're replaying the Nazi apartheid comedy show every day on Fox News. They siphon off billions of dollars from our government while we stand aside and look. Hate is our enemy, and our enemies are in the house. So the only way to defeat them is to make bigotry unsustainable. ICE survives when America is cold. So how do we defeat ICE? Heat this country up. I don't mean with anger, and I don't mean with anger. I mean with warm acts of kindness, decency, and charity. Show this hateful GOP and their voters that we love all that they hate. And our warm embrace of our neighbors is going to eradicate their hatred and vitriol. And if it doesn't, then we got trouble on our hands. So heat this country up. Heat this country up. For new immigration policy and due process for immigrants. Heat this country up. For women's freedom. Heat this country up. For LGBTQ lives. Heat this country up. For equal justice and freedom for black and brown Americans. Heat this country up. For a lasting democracy unthreatened by fascists and oligarchy. Heat this country up. For the next 250 years of America's soul. Heat this country up. Put some fire on this ice. Block GOP hate so that it evaporates and ice will melt in a puddle of filthy water on the ground. And we will wipe the mud of their injustice off our feet forever. Register to vote. Vote blue no matter who. And on November 3rd, put some fire on this ice so we can heat this country up. Thank you very much.
Again for Sheila. Are we going to heat this country up? I think she has some words that are truly important, but we're talking also about what difference are we going to make 8 months from now. That's where it's going to be important for us to make a difference. All right, well, come on to our next speaker. Most people know who she is, but I'm going to introduce her anyway. Our speaker this afternoon. Okay, all right. Barbara Fleshout. She served as a delegate representing Mon County for more than any other female in the House of Delegates.
Yeah!
She has successfully passed bills that have lowered the cost of insulin, established a system of sexual assault, nurse examiners for rape victims, and mandated insurance coverage for treatment of children with autism. She's a graduate in law at WVU College of Law. She now, and I'm cutting out a lot. I hear my She is a person that really, truly has made a difference for Montague County residents and the state of West Virginia. Let's welcome my friend, Barbara Fleshout.
I'm really proud of the heart about my friend. Thank you. I'm proud to know you, and I'm proud of everybody here today. And I'm thankful that Micah sponsored this, and also the National Women's March is a group that started this effort today. And can you guys hear me okay? Okay, good. Okay, I'm going to talk about women's rights start with he said, she said about Renee Good. She said, I'm not mad at you. He said, fucking bitch. Station Jonathan Moss. She's dead. Shot in the head 3 times. He is not being investigated or being charged at the federal level. What do we think about this? Stop ICE. Abolish ICE. So our president and his team set the tone with the nasty comments about women. For example, he said, quiet, quiet, piggy, when Bloomberg reporter Catherine Lucy asked about the Epstein files. Very impertinent of her to ask that question. Is this about hating women? Sophie Gilbert in the Atlantic magazine talked about some of the imagery on Grok, the AI platform owned by Elon Musk, including child pornography and horrible, distorted images of Renee Good. What she said is less about hating women and more about policing and punishing behavior. Makes sense to me. As The Handmaid's Tale foretold, the most effective way of controlling women is controlling our bodies. We have abortion bans in many states, including West Virginia. And now, West Virginia Bill 173 would make it a felony to send abortion pills to West Virginia from out of state. Senate Bill 43 would remove the exception of rape and incest from our abortion laws, forcing women to bear the children of the men who rape them. Current so-called education billboards in Morgantown say, don't swallow the lie. Abortion pills harm women. Well, I'm here to tell you, talk louder, I'm here to tell you that the truth about the abortion pill. This is the latest Ms. Magazine. I highly recommend it. RU486 and Plan C are the same thing. A 2-pill regimen that stops embryo development and expels pregnancy tissue. It is very safe in the first 12 weeks, 99.6% effective. Also the truth, most abortions are much safer than pregnancy and childbirth. Also, really interesting is mifepristone, one of the 2 ingredients, has shown promise in a striking number of treating adults. I counted 15 of them, but the stigma associated with mifepristone is stopping large drug studies here in the United States. They are happening, some in Europe and China. But I have more hopeful news. Guess what? That billboard campaign in Morgantown was preceded by a billboard campaign in rural West Virginia at 104 gas stations that said, pregnant, don't want to be, learn more at Mayday Health. 104 gas stations where women, in rural areas where women can't get information. Mayday Health provides information about getting abortion pills in advance. All of us should get them now. We should stockpile them. And you can also order abortion pills from plancpills.org and shoutyourabortion.com. West Virginia Now, that has a table here today, West Virginia Free, ACLU, and the League of Women Voters are present at our legislature daily. It is possible to beat back these bad bills. I believe we can do it. In closing, we must persist. There ain't no mountain high enough to keep us from getting justice. And as we demonstrated today, no wind, no rain, no winter's cold can stop us now. Let's go. Let's beat these bad bills and get your Plan C.
our next speaker, I'm just going to mention her first name. You'll kind of understand why as she speaks. But what I'm going to say is Vera grew up in the late Soviet Union in what is now called the Czech Republic. Before immigrating to the United States 25 years ago, she had been a part of this country.
Louder!
Louder! She has mentioned that she's an immigrant. I need to remind everyone here, unless you are a Native American, you are an immigrant. So, Vera has been an early member of Mountaineers Indivisible. She sees parallels between the current administration and what she has experienced as a youth. So let's welcome Vera.
Please excuse my accent. Some of you might have a problem to understand what I'm saying. But
You're doing great!
I will try to my best. So hello, Morgantown again. My name is Mira Hunter. Some of you already know me, but let me introduce myself to the rest of you. I am an immigrant from the part of Europe called in the past as East Bloc. Now,
Speak directly into the mic. We can't hear you.
I'm sorry. Should I start again?
Yes.
So my name is Mira Hunter. Some of you already know me. But let me introduce myself to the rest of you. I am an immigrant from the part of Europe called in the past as East Bloc. Now called Czech Republic, former communist Czechoslovakia. I came to the United States in year 2000 and got married to a Morgantown native, all-American boy who is a military veteran. We have two wonderful children. First, I obtained a green card and in 2015 became a citizen. Yes, I went through legal process and was very, very proud to do so. My children were attending when I took an oath in the courthouse together with others. Yes, I am a citizen and I watch in horror how the process is violated and denied to others like me, how the constitutional right to due process and the right to claim asylum is trampled over, how people are denied to speak up against this injustice, how not just immigrants but even the citizens are being snatched off the street, unlawfully incarcerated, and some deported without due process. This is a walk of shame towards authoritarianism. I know that very well. I was born, raised, and lived in such country. Czechoslovakia was under the boot of the Soviet Union. I saw Soviet soldiers marching through our streets. I remember the feeling of the fear and hatred towards them. I remember the words whispered against the regime, making sure no one could hear it and tell the Secret Service. I remember people persecuted for reading forbidden books, for listening to Voice of America, the mistrust to propaganda TV. There is so much I can remember and say.
I have my grandfather to thank for letting me listen to forbidden radio. He was my inspiration. He didn't live long enough to see the regime fall in 1989. Thousands of people in the streets marching, chanting, bringing the peace in protest, peacefully taking down the oppressive regime. I was there, saw it, lived it, participated. The whole East Bloc failed like a domino. And I watched and lived through the attempt to install such oppressive police state in my new home, where I never dreamed of being even possible to see something like this happen. I was beating the drum since 2016. No one wanted to listen and believe it. 10 years of warning, here we are. ISIS doing in the streets exactly what I feared, even killing innocent people. In our communities, under the government's order. How? I ask. How? How, I ask my fellow Americans, how do we allow this? We can't. We have to stand for our rights, for our neighbors, and for our freedoms. We have to defend our principles. I ask each of you, get involved, help organize, and go vote. Go vote this coming election. Get out there and take other people with you. Make sure we all are registered and vote this insanity out. Yes. What your life. Defend Thank you.
has experienced something that we have never experienced in this country. And she is a living witness of what we don't want this country to be. So let's thank Vera for her bravery. All right. Our next speaker is Mark King. He serves as the president of the NAACP of Morgantown Kingsville branch. He provides leadership focused on equity, community engagement, advocacy for marginalized, underserved populations. He brings a strong background in behavioral health, youth advocacy, and trauma-informed community work with a commitment to advancing civil rights through education, collaboration, and systemic change. Mark is dedicated to strengthening the community partnerships, increasing membership involvement, and ensuring the branch remains responsive to local needs while aligned with the broader mission of the NAACP. So we welcome this afternoon Mark King.
good people of Morgantown. As they said, my name is Mark King. I'm a black, gay man, a trauma therapist, and the president of the Morgantown Kingwood branch of the NAACP. And I'm standing here today because I love West Virginia enough to tell the truth about what freedom really requires. Every day in my work as a trauma therapist, I sit with people who are trying to survive systems that were never built with them in mind. I hear from queer youth who are afraid to come out at school. I hear from adults who have never learned or who have had to learn to shrink themselves just to stay safe in the workplace. I hear from people who have been told in words or in silence that their existence is something to debate rather than something to honor. And none of that is accidental. These harms don't just appear. They grow out of policies, rhetoric, and power structures in West Virginia that make it harder for queer people to live openly and safely. When lawmakers target trans kids, this is not protection. It is policing identity. When leaders try to erase queer history or silence conversations about gender and sexuality, that is not parental rights. It is controlling who gets to be visible. When systems deny health care or create barriers to basic dignity, that is not values. It is fear. And fear has never been a path to freedom. Freedom requires safety. Freedom requires dignity. Freedom requires the ability to exist without having to justify your humanity. Queer people in West Virginia deserve real freedom, not conditional freedom, not quiet freedom, not freedom that depends on the country or the county that you live in or happen to be in the room in. Real freedom. As president of our NAACP branch, I know that our struggles are connected. The fight for racial justice, the fight for queer and trans liberation, the fight for bodily autonomy, the fight for economic justice. These are not separate fights. They are one movement with many doors. Because when one group is targeted, the idea of freedom becomes negotiable. And once freedom becomes negotiable for one of us, it becomes negotiable for all of us. But here's what gives me hope. West Virginians know how to show up for each other. We know how to build community in cracks. We know how to create safety where systems fail us. We know how to love each other in ways that institutions have not learned yet. And today, standing here with all of you, I see a future for the state that is bigger than fear. I see a future where queer youth don't have to leave West Virginia to feel safe. I see a future where trans people can access health care without a political debate about their existence. I see a future where queer families are part of the fabric of this place, not exceptions to it. rebuild itself. So today, I'm asking us to commit to each other, to show up in our schools, our city councils, our county commissions, and our legislators, to challenge policies that harm our neighbors, to protect the people who are most targeted, to refuse to let anyone who shrink our definition of freedom. Because West Virginia deserves better. Because our people deserve better. Because freedom, real freedom, demands better. Thank you for standing here today. Thank you for refusing to be silent. And thank you for believing, like I do, that a West Virginia is one where every queer person can live, love, and thrive without fear. Thank you for your time.
No justice, no peace. No ice in our streets.
No justice, no peace. No ice in our streets. No justice, no peace. No ice in our streets. No justice, no peace. No ice in our streets. No justice, no peace. No ice in our streets.
Let's hear it for Mark, all of our speakers once again. I want to thank you all for coming on this bitter, bitter cold day. However, if we were not here, it would not only be bitter cold for our future, but it will be dark, very dark. And we're seeing some of that as we roll forward in the future. But I want to tell you, as I mentioned earlier, and also one of our speakers mentioned, one of the things that we need to do is not only do we have to vote, but we definitely have to be involved in making sure that people who support what we believe in, that they get elected. And that they listen to what we have to say, but they need to be for all the people. Not just some of us, but all of us. So it's going to be important for you all to do that. So thank you for coming out. Let me mention one other thing. On Thursday evening at the Church of the Brethren at 6 o'clock, we're going to have a speaker who's going to talk about book burning. Book banning, book burning. Yeah. Same thing for me. But anyway, so 6 o'clock, Church of the Brethren in Wild Hill. You guys are exciting, and I want you all to be my neighbor. Hey, that's it.